Es hat ein bisschen gedauert, bis er dann im Jahr 2015 erstmals in der Europameisterschaft an den Start gegangen ist. Sascha Lenz, wie gesagt, gerade im Bild gewesen.
Ladies and gentlemen, liebe Truck Racing Fans, herzlich willkommen zu Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. I'm your host Christina Rann and I will be switching languages. Also heute geht's auf Deutsch und Englisch. Wir sind hier bilingual unterwegs für alle unseren internationalen Truck Racing Fans, for you fans all over the world. Thanks for joining us and also we are on Fan TV live here at the Nürburgring. Deswegen erstmal moin an alle, die uns hier gerade live und in Farbe zuhören. Hier unten sind wir auf dem Grid. We are at the grid. In between, at the grid walk, it's a nice peace sign from everyone. Also die Fans holen sich hier natürlich jetzt nochmal Autogramme, die letzten Bilder mit den großen Trucks, bevor es gleich losgeht mit dem ersten Rennen am Wochenende. Lots of autographs to be signed here ahead of race number 1, the first race at this weekend here at the legendary Nürburgring and in between at the ADAC Truck Grand Prix. Und wir haben sehr, sehr viel vor natürlich mit euch. Vor allen Dingen haben wir ein paar Überraschungen auch gleich dabei. Sie gucken nämlich gleich uns mal an, wer heute alles hier in den ersten Reihen unterwegs ist. Und ja, Norbert Kisch und Jochen Hahn, das war vielleicht erwartbar, aber danach, it's a family business. Also, we're going to get you informed of what is going on here at the racetrack. And we welcome our international commentators. Hola, Fonsi Cebrian, our Spanish commentator. Chaz Draycott, our English commentator. Und natürlich Jörg Hennig und Ebi Eberts. Ohne die beiden auf Deutsch geht natürlich auch nichts. Also deswegen jetzt mal ein ganz, ganz liebes Hallo an unsere Kommentatoren.
Thank you, Christina. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to day 2, effectively, here at the Nürburgring at the ADAC International Truck Grand Prix. Chaz Draycott here, commentating on site for this week and part of this race meeting once again. It's been so lovely to see everybody and just get involved with the buzz in the paddock. As you can see in the wonderful, as you see, we have a nice full grid here for, this weekend. 17 trucks here at the International Truck Grand Prix. It's great to have so many of them turning out for this event. It's the one that everybody wants to race at. It's the one that everybody wants to win. And with 4 races over our weekend, there's plenty of chances. Let's go back down to Christina.
Wir stehen hier gerade vor dem Pace Truck und an diesem Rennwochenende gibt es nicht nur die Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, sondern es gibt auch noch den Efficiency Run presented by Krone. Und ich freue mich sehr, dass wir jetzt mit Georg Fuchs, dem Geschäftsführer der ETRA, drüber sprechen können. Der Truck ist gerade jetzt auch noch mal wieder auf der Strecke unterwegs mit ein paar Fans natürlich, aber es ging um diesen Efficiency Run auf der legendären Nordschleife. Welche Technologien waren dabei vertreten?
Also im Grunde genommen geht es ja beim Efficiency Run um den Berufskraftfahrer. Es waren Serienfahrzeuge, die sonst auf der Straße zu sehen sind mit dem Sattelzug. Der Berufskraftfahrer steht im Mittelpunkt und dadurch, dass wir technologieoffen sind, waren Bio-LNG-Truck, elektrische Trucks und Diesel- bzw. HVO-betriebene Trucks zu sehen und mit im Wettbewerb unterwegs.
Das ist ja klasse, dass wir alle vertreten haben. And now for all the English audience, quick summarize from Georg Fuchs about the Truck Efficiency Run. What technologies were presented?
The Truck Efficiency Run is really focusing on the professional truck drivers on the road. So it's really about the drivers and their efficient driving. And we had, except hydrogen, all technologies on the Nordschleife. So LNG, electric and diesel or HVO powered trucks.
Und wie das Ganze aussieht, das wollen wir euch jetzt zeigen. Das sind wirklich spektakuläre Bilder von diesem Truck Efficiency Run und zwar von der Nordschleife. Film ab.
Manche Rennen gewinnt man nicht mit Geschwindigkeit, sondern mit Können, Präzision und Strategie. Dieses Rennen braucht all das. Der Truck Efficiency Run, powered by Krohn, ist ein Rennen wie kein anderes. Hier treffen Leistung und Präzision in einzigartiger Weise aufeinander. Hier arbeiten Mensch und Maschine am perfekten Zusammenspiel. Und hier beginnt die Zukunft des Transports. Ein Rennen, bei dem jeder Handgriff zählt, jedes Kilowatt, jeder Tropfen. Auf der legendären Nordschleife geht es nicht darum, wer als erster die Ziellinie überquert, sondern wer mit der klügsten Strategie, dem besten Gespür und der größten Effizienz fährt. Diese Fahrer sind echte Alltagshelden. Sie transportieren mehr als nur Fracht. Sie bewegen Fortschritt für dich, für mich, für uns alle. Der Truck Efficiency Run ist mehr als nur ein Rennen. Er ist der Weg in eine intelligentere, sauberere Zukunft. Denn echter Fortschritt beginnt hinter dem Steuer. Und in diesem Rennen gewinnt die Effizienz.
Ja, das ist wirklich sensationell, vor allen Dingen natürlich auch, wie das Ganze bewertet wird, denn die FIA hat sich da auch überlegt, es gibt einen Performance-Index, Gleichmäßigkeit, das haben wir gerade im Film schon gehört, das ist natürlich ein Faktor, wer seine Geschwindigkeit konstant hält, der erhält wertvolle Punkte und dann natürlich die Effizienz, also der tatsächliche Verbrauch, der gemessen wird, der wird mit den offiziellen Herstellerangaben des Fahrzeugs dann abgeglichen. Quick translation for the English audience, the evaluation is based on the performance index determined by the FIA, which combines the two key factors, of course, consistency and the efficiency, so actual fuel consumption, etc., etc. Das ist tatsächlich sehr revolutionär, wenn man das ansieht, dass man das tatsächlich auch in den Wettbewerb nochmal mit einfließen lassen kann. Jetzt ist aber auch natürlich auch die Frage, wie die Straße, sage ich jetzt einfach mal, davon profitieren kann.
Ja, im Grunde genommen ist es ja die Herausforderung der Berufskraftfahrer im Alltagsleben und das Ganze eigentlich in ein Wettbewerbsformat gepackt, um sich zu messen. Im Prinzip ist es nicht viel anderes, als im Alltag ohnehin schon gemacht wird.
So it's the daily business at the road haulage industry. So how do they profit from that?
Ja, profitieren auf alle Fälle Total Cost of Ownership, also die Kosten für Energie, sei es Diesel, sei es elektrisch, die fließen ja in den Lebenszyklus von LKWs, von Sattelzügen mit ein und die werden bei effizienter Fahrweise drastisch gesenkt und das ist sozusagen das Ziel von guten Lkw-Fahrern.
Das klingt gut und der Huper da vorne gerade, das war nämlich schon wieder der Krone-Trailer, der fährt gerade an uns vorbei. Georg, vielen herzlichen Dank. Ich glaube, wir werden das nochmal sehen, oder? Das wird sicherlich nochmal eine Wiederholung irgendwann geben. Wir sind zumindest ganz optimistisch.
Wir sehen mal, wie die Resonanz ist und dann schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht.
So we hope to see that efficiency run one day maybe again, but we're absolutely glad to have that here at the famous Nordschleife. Back to our commentators and back to truck racing. Also jetzt geht es gleich hier natürlich um das Rennen, deswegen nochmal zurück zu unseren Kommentatoren. Danke.
Thank you very much. Great to hear from Georg there, and thank you very much, Christina, for the awesome translation. She's been so professional with it on the fly, going very quickly from German to English and back again so many times. Wonderful also to see the efficiency run underway here at the Nürburgring, especially on the Nordschleife. My girlfriend and I were lucky enough to be on one of the recce buses for the event on Thursday, which was absolutely awesome, and we're very grateful to the championship and to Krone for organising us being a part of that as well. So as you can see then, things very much underway, ready for this first race of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We've not got long now before we open up to our TV bumper, which is for the international audience all around the world. It's a separate intro for them effectively, so we'll be welcoming them in just a few moments' time. So please forgive the silence from me, and we'll come back in a second.
One of the Absolute season highlights here at the Nürburgring. Welcome everyone to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and welcome to the legendary Nürburgring. Welcome to the ADAC Truck Grand Prix. And yes, we are ready to race. The qualifying took place on Friday. Of course, the leader of the pack, Norbert Kisch, starting from pole position, no surprise, but Jochen Hahn is right behind him, the six-time champion, and his son Lucas Hahn competing on home ground, starting from P3. So lots of action we are going to see from the 5-ton trucks, and we welcome you warmly around the world. This time I'm bilingual. Well, my name is Christina, and today I'm going to present to you in English and in German for local fans here at the racetrack. So, hallo alle nochmal zusammen hier. Wir machen das ja heute hier bilingual. Jetzt haben wir gerade die internationalen Fans aus der Welt begrüßt, und dementsprechend gehen wir jetzt gleich mal rein hier in die Gespräche auf dem Track. But we welcome first our commentators internationally and German commentators. Have fun, guys.
Thank you, Christina. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first race of the weekend here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. My name's Chaz Draycott. I'm the English commentator for the series here on site this weekend, with Jörg Hennig doing the German commentary and Fonzie Cebrian on Spanish comms duties as well. And we're all very excited to get this weekend underway. We've had typically Eifel region weather so far this morning. It's been very foggy, and there was a lack of visibility this morning, actually, that meant that the warm-up session only just went ahead, but a lot of the familiarization laps and a lot of the checking of the circuit didn't go very much to plan. But we're going to go back down onto the grid, and Christine is going to speak to Jochen Hahn.
Und wir sind hier tatsächlich bei einem Moment dabei, wenn der Helm langsam runtergeht bei Jochen Hahn. Dürfen wir kurz stören? Oha, das ging aber schnell. Das ist tatsächlich mittlerweile ja schon gelernt, wenn wir hier mit dem Mikrofon ankommen. Jochen, es ist ein spezieller Tag, weil wir sind auf dem Nürburgring. Es ist ein tolles Rennen, die Fans sind hier in den Rängen. Wie war die Vorbereitung jetzt für euch im Team?
Ja, wir haben gestern schon das Zeittraining gehabt, sind mal wieder abgeledert worden vom Norbert Kisch. Die Vorbereitung war einfach zu analysieren, haben wir irgendwo noch was zum Verbessern. Ist im Fahrer noch was, muss ich den Fahrstil noch mal anpassen. Wie sind die Wetterbedingungen? Ich glaube, das ist auch heute gar nicht so schlecht, wie es jetzt ist. Und ich denke, wir können das sehr spannendes Rennen fahren.
Due to qualifying yesterday, of course, they were well informed about all the data. They were checking it. Do they need to switch something at the setup? And also the driving. Does he need to improve something? Und musst du was ändern?
Wie bitte?
Musst du was ändern an deinem Stil?
Naja, immer. Also als Fahrer, man sagt ja immer als Rennfahrer, das Auto war schlecht oder das war nicht gut. Man muss ehrlich sein, ein Fahrer kann sich immer verbessern. Und wir reden hier von 2 oder 3 Zehntelsekunden pro Runde. Und wenn man mal 2 Minuten die Augen zumacht und mal 3 Zehntel versucht, schneller zu sein, ja, das ist nichts. Ja. Und von dem her kann ein Fahrer das immer ausmachen. Und wir müssen einfach versuchen, technisch und fahrerisch und so zu verbessern, ja, dass wir ihn endlich mal schlagen. So geht's doch nicht weiter.
He's talking about Norbert Kisch, his opponent, vielen Dank. And he said, yes, of course, as a driver, you also need to improve because sometimes it's just 0.002 of a second. Imagine it's just a small blink in there. And he said, yes, we can improve as a drivers. And he's trying to beat Norbert Kisch there on the other side. I'm going to show you there. Here, he's side by side, the reigning champion Norbert Kisch. Wir gehen noch mal ganz kurz rüber zu ihm, denn der hat gerade den Helm auch noch nicht auf. Group talk or possibility for quick chat? Yes. Always. Er steht uns auf jeden Fall zur Verfügung. Das ist großartig. Norbert, Jochen Hahn is on fire. But I think you're...
Well, bring the extinguishers. Well, where is he on fire?
No, I mean, he's absolutely ready to race, and we are also glad that you're all here competing on the Nürburgring. That's very special. What is your favorite part of the track? Was ist denn eigentlich sein Lieblingsmoment hier auf der Strecke, auf diesem legendären Track?
Oh, well, the Nordschleife.
Well, we're not on the Nordschleife. Die Nordschleife ist eigentlich sein Lieblingspart. Okay, let's talk about this track here.
Unfortunately, we're not allowed there with the racetracks. I've been trying, you know, to have a demo lap or something on the Nordschleife with the racetrack, but they're not allowing it, so that's unfortunate.
But bicycle could go.
But yeah, but here in the circuit, you know, I think this first part, you know, with the braking zone before the first turn and then the first Mercedes Arena, I think what it's called, is, you know, I think it's a really nice section, and I think we are really fast also there in the first sector. The second half of the circuit is a bit more difficult for us, but yeah, you know, I think this is a very nice section.
Thank you very much. All the best for the racing. Helmets on, of course. Spricht natürlich auch nochmal davon, dass dieser erste Part, gerade wenn das halt hier in die Mercedes-Benz-Arena dort hinten geht, das ist natürlich in die AMG-Arena, das ist natürlich super. Und vor allen Dingen sagt er, das ist so ein bisschen sein Lieblingspart. Und ich kann das auch verstehen. Ich glaube, für euch hier an der Strecke auch. Sagt er, nach der zweite Part dieses Tracks, das ist ein bisschen komplizierter für uns Fahrer. Aber ich kann mir vorstellen, dass dann natürlich jetzt auch in der Nacht nochmal alles minutiös durchgegangen ist hier. He's well prepared, Norbert Kisch, as always. And so back to our commentators. Zurück zu unseren Kommentatoren.
Cheers, Christina. Great to hear from Norby as well. Actually, it's lovely to get both of our drivers from the front row giving their own perspectives on the weekend and what they need to do. Awesome to hear a bit of banter between the two of them as well. Of course, with Norby talking about bringing the fire extinguishers. That was very quick-witted of him. But Jochen will be really focused this weekend, hoping for a home victory. He had a great race weekend last year here at the Nürburgring in the International Truck Grand Prix. He's got his son Lucas Hahn starting third on the grid, and then the other Iveco of Steffi Halm starting fourth. So 3 Ivecos from the same camp effectively inside the top 4, which is great to see. They've been very competitive, not just this weekend, but throughout the entire season, really. Steffi has certainly stepped her game up this season. They've got the truck in a really good window where they wanted it. She said that they'd spent a long time trying to get everything perfected. We're going to actually go down and have a quick chat with her as well, and Christina's going to have a word with her.
Wir sind hier bei Steffi Halm und wir wurden gerade noch mal instruiert, wir dürfen nämlich gleich hier noch mal an der Mauer vorbei raus. Und hier muss ich mich erst mal durchschlängeln. So we're here at the truck of Steffi Halm and the team is well prepared. Steffi, natürlich für dich ist es ja auch ein spezielles Rennen hier im Nürburgring. Wie seid ihr vorbereitet? Was habt ihr vielleicht noch mal angepasst nach dem Qualifying gestern?
Klar, Nürburgring ist immer ein sehr spezielles Rennen für uns alle. Ich freue mich jetzt aber riesig aufs Rennen. Die Ausgangsposition ist gut. Ich hoffe, wir können sie halten oder uns vielleicht sogar noch einen Ticken verbessern. Wir haben nicht arg viel verändert. Der LKW funktioniert gut. Ich hoffe, dass ich auch funktioniere und dann werden wir weitersehen.
Wie viel Prozent macht das aus, das persönliche Funktionieren?
Naja, man muss halt alles richtig machen zur richtigen Zeit und keine Fehler. Und dann sollte das Ergebnis hoffentlich passen.
Vielen herzlichen Dank. We've been here at a special moment, the team greeting, the last goodbyes, and then off to the racing track. She said, yes, of course, we need to be prepared. It's a special race here for her at the Nürburgring. Of course, it's German turf and home ground. We're so excited. As you can see, the engines are on. Also die Maschinen sind an. Das heißt, wir schleichen uns jetzt hier auch langsam raus, wie versprochen, gerade durch die Mauer durch. Und dann kann es hier losgehen. Das erste Rennen an diesem Wochenende. Wir sind sowas von bereit dafür. We are absolutely ready to race, everyone.
Let's get things underway, shall we then? Great to hear from Steffi, who gives her final word before getting ready to go. And as you see now, all the personnel, everybody rushing off the grid, all of the sign bearers that show the truck numbers from their positions on the grid will make their way off. It's a lovely part of the procedure, actually, here at the Nürburgring. We love to have that. We also love to have the Ford F-Max in the field as well. The Ford F-Max is the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and it is driven today by May Fisher. May does all of these demonstration laps around all of the circuits that we travel to over Europe, and this Ford F-Max has been a staple of the series for the last few years now, and it's great to see it still going strong. We have the orange one doing the formation laps and the inspection laps this season. We have a couple of them in the paddock. You'll often see the orange one on circuit doing all of the familiarization, and then the blue and orange version of the same livery will live in the fan village over the course of the weekend, and all of the fans get a chance to go up and check it out. We also have the Ford F-Max 500 Custom as well in the paddock, which is great to see. It's quite a revolutionary little truck, actually. It's got the single seat in the cabin. There's no second seat for a driver's mate, let's say. There's a small compact kitchen area behind the driver's seat with a microwave. There's a slide-out sink, the usual bed in there as well. It's been designed with a solo driver in mind, and it utilizes all of the large cabin space, which is often occupied by a widely unused passenger seat for the solo driver. But this F-Max here that you see is a bit more of a standard configuration, but a lovely machine all the same. It's very powerful, very quick. I've been around a few circuits in this thing. I can tell you it's great fun. And May doing once again a lovely job of demonstrating this absolute titan of a machine to us all here at the Nürburgring. And we once again thank Ford Trucks for their partnership with the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We also continue our partnership with Goodyear. They have a new 55% sustainable material tyre that's making its truck racing debut this year. We also have Iveco on board as one of the main players in our partnerships, and joining them are the likes of Total Energies, Alcoa, Krona, Yoast and Eurovag as well, who provide fuel card and payment solutions for companies within the European road freight industry. One of those partners we mentioned though was Iveco. They are a massive player in the global transport sector. You all know Iveco. They have established a global presence on the world stage as a manufacturer and a commercial provider. And they established that even further with this wonderful electric Iveco SE-Way, a 100% electric truck, and it is driven by Nico Schwier. Nico has been driving this vehicle around a lot of the tracks for us so far this season. This will be, unfortunately, its last appearance in the 2025 championship, but it's been great to have it as our pace truck for these rounds so far. This beautiful white design really echoing the clean environment it promotes being an electric truck. 12 championship titles on the front row of the grid then, with Norbert Kisch starting on pole position and Jochen Hahn alongside him. Lucas Hahn starts from third place after a great qualifying, with Steffi Halm hoping to battle with him for a podium here today. René Reinert starts in fifth position. I met René for the first time just earlier on, had a great chat with him, and also Antonio Albacete as well. Antonio always up for a good chinwag. He's excited to see what he can do from sixth. Sascha Lenz wasn't too impressed with qualifying yesterday. He finished in seventh place ahead of Mark Taylor, who I'm told is very, very much happier this weekend than he was at the Slovakia ring. The truck is feeling good. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez also looking to move forward, with Bradley Smith alongside him hoping to maintain a decent gap in the Chrome Championship. Two more big hitters in the Chrome category as well. We have John Newell alongside Stefan Faas on the sixth row in 11th and 12th. Following on from them, Luke Garrett will start in 13th position. He has got Louis Riquenco alongside him on that seventh row. Just behind them and never too far away, Stefan Kirsch in 15th. Great to have him back with us. Clemens Hecker had a boost issue. He didn't quite get the boost pressure that they wanted from the turbocharger during practice yesterday. I was talking to Hans Mollenhoff this morning, and he was saying it's always the tiniest little components that change these things and can bring the trucks to a halt. And he was saying they hope to have the problem fixed, and they should be at full chat this morning. As you can see though, as I alluded to earlier on, it was very much the typical Nordschleife Nürburgring weather this morning as we arrived at the track. From the pit lane you couldn't even see the grandstand down at turn 1, but it very quickly brightened up and it's absolutely beautiful here now just before 11 AM. Let's get underway then, shall we? Looking out of the window as the trucks fly past the office, we're underway for the first race of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And I can tell you just from my view out of the window, it was a really good getaway by Norbert Kisch. Jochen Hahn is staying just alongside him. Then the other two Ivecos right behind as well. Lucas Hahn and Steffi Halm side by side. Everybody clinging to the inside line to make sure that they don't lose any piece of momentum. They're three wide in the background there as John Newell goes down the inside of Bradley Smith, and Stefan Faas is hung out to dry. A little bit of dust being kicked up there by Louis Riquenco in the Iveco. He moves over to the left-hand side to try and tighten that line up as much as possible. Antonio Albacete locking up on the brakes there, nearly into the back of Sascha Lenz. Sorry, nearly into the back of René Reinert as Sascha Lenz goes around the inside, then down to the inside. Looks like everybody getting through pretty cleanly, running wide. Oh, a little bit of door-to-door action there between Antonio and Sascha. The pair bounce off each other. Sascha's the one that loses out, and in the background, it's big contact between Louis Riquenco and Luke Garrett. Those two end up facing the wrong way. They both try and get moving. Louis gets going. Clemens Hecker and Stefan Kirsch have made their way through that, but seems like Luke was brought to a standstill. Oh, hello, there's a moment for Clemens Hecker off the road once again. Off and through the gravel. That's a big, big shame, though, for Luke Garrett. Hopefully he can get going again. We're going to be getting all of the information and reports from race control, so we will see what comes through as a result of that. But that is a big, big shame. Those guys not making it through the first sector just yet. Ruppert has gone through. Riquenco has gone through. But we've only had 15 of the trucks actually make it through that sector. Clement Ecker's transponder seems to have just been a little bit slow to activate there. It's only just picked up that he's gone through. Luke Garrett is moving, but unfortunately at a reduced pace. That is another nightmare start to the weekend for them. Just seems like the bad luck will never go away. Norbert leads them then across the line with Jochen Hahn in second position. Lucas Hahn holding on to third ahead of Steffi Halm. Then it's René Reinert in fifth place. Sascha Lenz up to sixth now ahead of Antonio Albacete. He's got past him on the later part of the lap. René Reinert nose down the inside of Steffi Halm. Nearly gets it done. The two Ivecos in front, a very similar colour actually. Hard to pick apart on a smaller screen, but we'll try our best as the race goes on. Here's Eduardo Rodriguez there holding on to 8th place. Mark Taylor 9th. John Newell up to 10th ahead of Bradley Smith. So in terms of the chrome podium at the moment, it's Lucas Hahn that would be at the top of it. Mark Taylor next up, and then John Newell. There is Sascha Lenz attacking René Reinert. Sascha running similar setup to John Newell. The two of them have pretty much identical trucks from how they were built. They worked together over the winter to build these two trucks in unison. And John, we spoke to him just before the race actually, as my girlfriend and I walked through the paddock, and he said he's flipped the truck on his head. He's quoted it. He flipped it on its head in his wonderful British accent. He's got Bradley Smith and Stefan Faas right behind him though. Stefan's definitely one to watch this weekend, because when he got up to speed, he really got going at the Slovakia ring. Once that truck worked, it worked good. It really did. They had a lot of great pace about them. And we're excited to see whether he can make it through the order here and benefit from that pace. As Luke Garrett, I can tell you, has come into the pit lane, didn't quite see what the damage was on the truck, but I imagine if he's had a knock on the rear, it could have affected any part of the components inside. Big, big shame that for Luke. At the end of lap 2 then, they head across the start-finish line, and it's Norbert Kish once again leading the way. 1.4 seconds clear of Jochen Hahn. Lucas Hahn still third. Sascha Lenz moves all the way over to the right-hand side. Not quite sure in the... Well, I'm not quite sure what that's in aid of, but maybe just to stay as far away from the other trucks as possible to try and get a little bit of cool air into the front of that machine. Make sure it's not driving it through any of the sort of disturbed air from any of the other drivers. Louis Requenco, you can see in the background there, continuing on as, the number 11 is under investigation for overspeeding. That's Bradley Smith. Now that can come down to a potential GPS issue, which means that they go over that 160 kilometers an hour, 100 mile an hour limit. And sometimes the bridge out of the final corner has had some effect on the speed that they do. I can see from a separate feed as well, there's a small piece of debris on the start-finish straight that is being looked into by race control at the moment. Hopefully that doesn't affect anything. It's off the racing line by a considerable distance. So by the look of it, I mean, I can see the thought process that's going through the cameraman's head right now as they look at that. But Norbert Kish leads, Jochen Hahn second, Lucas Hahn holding on to third. As, there might be the debris. Wow, what was that? Something flew off the right-hand side of René Reinert's truck as he headed down through the right kink. Something very aggressively fell off the front right. Let's see whether we can see what panel that is that's missing. I wonder if it's just one of the small aerodynamic pieces that they have on the side of the cab, because some of the trucks have these small little vents that guide a bit of air around the nose of the truck. As there is a move, Bradley Smith having to defend from Stefan Faas. He may be investigated for overspeeding, but right now it doesn't look like he's overspeeding at all. There is a little bit of debris on the start-finish straight. You can see them moving around it there. René Reinert just glances it, and I tell you what, he's done a good job there actually, because he's removed it from the circuit for everybody. That was really good of René. Nice stuff. Reminds me of a touring car driver many years ago called Gordon Shedden at Snetterton. Had a piece of bodywork hanging off the truck. Off the car. And what he did was he drove close enough to a tyre stack to remove it, so he didn't need to come into the pits to get it removed. It was a wonderful piece of driving, and that was, I'm not sure if that was calculated by René or not, but he's a very clever bloke, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was. He's almost making up for his own littering there, actually, of throwing debris onto the circuit. As you can see, though, the gap at the front is opening up quite a lot. Lucas Hahn now getting away from Steffi Halm as well. he's making some pretty steady progress there. Mark Taylor hasn't been able to stick with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but we look at this battle here. Bradley Smith trying to hold on ahead of Stefan Faas. We must say a big thank you to the Tankpool 24 team, actually. We went down to the Mullenbach Schleife yesterday evening, and they handed out the beers. It was lovely. Great to spend some time with the team, and a fantastic Zorro rigid truck that they've turned into Western Saloon Bar, which is absolutely awesome. It's a great bit of kit. A lot of good fun. Seems to centralise around the Tankpool 24 team. They're a really good laugh. A little bit of bodywork flapping around on the front of the Freightliner there as well, actually. Seems like Stefan might have had a little bit of contact here and there. There's also some dust kicked up there, I think, by Sasha Lenz out of the final corner. Bradley climbing all over the curbs while Stefan tries to stay with him. But the order at the moment pretty stable after that opening skirmish. Now, we're told that the Luke Garrett and Louis Rykwenko incident will be investigated after the race. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. A reminder that while the incident itself did go on, there is still 100% renewable HVO diesel powering all of our race trucks. So it's all green, clean fun. Under green flag racing as well. Norbert Kish leading the way. There's Jochen Hahn in second position, doing his best to keep up with the reigning champion. Both of them have 6 titles apiece, and if Norby gets the 7th one this year, he'll be the first person to do so. I was speaking to Csaba Bako yesterday about their title and the championship attack, and he was saying that, you know, with how much of a perfectionist Norby is, he would go out there and win every single race if he could. It would be an amazing thing to do, and he wants to chase and surpass those records. Csaba said he's happy so long as they win the title and keep the truck clean. And he was talking us through a lot of the machine yesterday, and talking about the livery as well, and the change of livery for this season and so on. It's always great to speak to Csaba, because no matter how busy Csaba is, he's always got time for everybody, and he's so lovely about it as well. We continue on though. John Newell is going to be pretty happy, I imagine, to see a bit more of a gap behind him to Bradley Smith. There's no gaps here though with these lot, is there? Definitely Steffi Halm in front of René Reiner is the cork in the bottle at the moment. Then it's Sasha Lenz, Antonio Albacete, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez a little bit off the back of that battle, but he's not completely out of the picture just yet. He's also in 8th position as well, which is important, because that will be reverse grid pole position for race number 2 this afternoon. The broadcast for that will be at about 2 local time here at the Nürburgring. We have quite a relatively earlier finish at this race meeting when we share the track with other series. We've got the Dutch Truck Racing Championship and the GT Masters here with us at the Nürburgring this weekend. It's a fun-filled weekend of racing, covering some of the finest racing trucks in the world, and also GT3 cars joining us on the same track. Norbert Kish there, just guiding his machine out of the Mercedes-Benz arena. Lucas Hahn holding 3rd, but there is the train to look at right now. Steffi Halm with René Reiner just in the rearview mirror, and Sasha Lenz wanting a piece of the action as well. Sasha really wasn't pleased with his qualifying in 7th position, as now he looks down the inside of René. René goes to cover it off. Sasha has to dive to the right-hand side. That will help Steffi, but René's gone deep. Sasha manages to upset his rhythm that much that René goes a little bit deep on the brakes. Somehow manages to hold on to it though. Sasha didn't quite anticipate the cutback in time. He now has to try and defend from Antonio Albacete as well. You can see the sunshine floating across the circuit in bursts there as they head up to the chicane once more. The end of lap number 6. The ticker in the top left, don't forget, is how many laps we've completed. So we are on the 6th lap of the race, just about to go to the second half of this one. And Sasha Lenz, well, he's certainly looking racy now. Suddenly this 4-truck train has changed from being Steffi Halm at the front of it and Antonio Albacete at the back, so being René Reinert's train, with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez clinging onto the back of it. Steffi will be very grateful for the breathing room. You can see them fanning out slightly now down the straight to make sure they don't get caught in any dirty air. And they also don't want to be raising the temperatures of their trucks unnecessarily as well. Temperatures obviously very important in motorsport, but even more so here in truck racing. There's a lot of elements of these machines that have to be within a certain operating window for the truck to get its optimum performance. Jochen Hahn has checked out in second place though. He doesn't have to worry about either of the Ivecos that are currently chasing him down. René Reinert doing a good job there actually to get that back on the circuit before the penalty marker, as Sascha Lenz very confident on the brakes by the look of it into that hairpin. Sascha, he's gaining a lot of time every time they go through there. He's looking really switched onto it right now, is Sascha, having a good run. We've had a second penalty marker warning actually for René Reinert come through, same with Mark Taylor as well in truck number 81. There you can see the German fans here at the Nürburgring will be very happy with 5 of their drivers in the top 6 positions. All the Brits, minus Luke Garrett, are clinging together in the middle of the pack, with John Newell in the middle. Luke Garrett's still running by the look of it, just a lap down, so it's good that he's still continuing on. I think he's just coming past the commentary box now, actually, as I speak. No, actually, apologies, that's Norbert Kish coming out of the final corner. The front end of the pack heading around much further than I anticipated there. But Luke Garrett still pushing on. So I think that once he got the truck checked out, they decided to carry on. He's just finished the first sector, actually, is Luke. Now we wait to see what Sascha Lenz can do in getting past René Reinert. Will he be able to make a move? Will Antonio Albacete benefit from the scenario as well? You can see a load of smoke in the background there. I believe they're doing a drifting demonstration in the fan village at the moment. They've got a lot of the Falcon drift cars here this weekend. Looks like Jose Eduardo Rodriguez has dropped off the back of this train slightly. He was about half a second slower than these guys. Actually more than that, sorry, 0.7 of a second slower than Albacete on that previous lap. 0.6 of a second slower than René Reinert in the blue, number 77 MAN. It's all MANs here racing one another. Sascha Lenz having a bit of a slide out of the hairpin. That's not going to help him very much. Antonio Albacete just filling his mirrors at the minute with the yellow, red and blue in that gorgeous designed T-Sport Bernau machine this season. Makes quite the difference to the livery that they've had in the past. It's usually been a mainly white livery with the darker blue highlights. But this time round, looking resplendent in the dark blue, yellow and red. Stefan Kirsch has gotten ahead of Clemens Hecker for 13th position, according to our timing screen. Clemens didn't have the best previous lap, and it looks like Stefan has made him pay for that. Through the first sector, actually, Clemens had a 5 second slower time, so he's definitely made a mistake or had an issue somewhere. Hopefully not some sort of failure that's going to slow them down further, because like I said earlier, they were struggling with boost pressure in the qualifying session, and apparently René Reinert is now under investigation for another penalty marker. Truck 77 under investigation, so keep an eye on that. Wonderful drone shots again. We've got the FPV drones here this weekend to do some awesome bits of footage around the Mercedes-Benz Arena. That's cool to see. While live as well, how cool is that? But yeah, René Reinert under investigation, so he needs to be very, very careful. They'll just be checking that all of the penalty marker infringements basically were enough to warrant a penalty, and that they were far enough outside the track limits. We'll see what comes of that as we're on lap number 9 here in the first race of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship here at the International Truck Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Another fantastic weekend is underway at this wonderful circuit. And Steffi Halm is currently holding on to 4th position very well. Lucas Hahn has had a great run in this race, though, hasn't he? 3rd position overall, and the lead in the Chrome class as well. A lot of the other drivers in the Chrome class know that they don't need to worry about him too much in terms of the championship battle. They just need to focus on one another. Lucas is only a race-by-race entrant this season, so he'll only be racing it a couple of rounds. So the guys know that he can't mount a serious championship challenge with just a couple of appearances. Sascha Lenz then has all the attentions of Antonio Albacete behind him. Antonio not really letting him get away at all. I think Sascha may have pushed a little bit hard in his pursuit to get past René Reinert. And now Antonio is thinking, right, he's maybe in a bit of a vulnerable position here for me to have a go and try and make some moves. You can see he just carries a lot more mid-corner speed there. It looked a lot more comfortable in his MAN than Sascha did. Another reminder that all of these trucks, while you see them, you'll notice there's a lack of black smoke or any nasty looking emissions. That's because they all run on 100% renewable HVO diesel. The entire championships field runs on it. It's been a fantastic and huge step forward to the championships commitment to go carbon neutral. There's a lot more of the teams now investing in the likes of bio-LNG tractor units and electric tractor units to get them to and from the circuits. We've got penalty marker warnings coming through for Stefan Faas, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Clemens Hecker now as well. Not quite sure what Clemens' issue was on that previous lap that caused him to lose the place to Stefan Kirsch, but it was just a slow first sector, unfortunately. Hoping that it's not an issue with the boost again. But the benefit of me being on site is that I'll just go and ask him later. Just go and find out. It's always good being able to message the drivers and teams after forming a good relationship with them. As, oh, there we go. There's a battle between Clemens Hecker and Stefan Kirsch. He says, Achtung, have some of that. And there's a bit of dust kicked up on the left-hand side as well. Stefan not wanting to back out of that one, having to go for the wider line on the way into the chicane. Wants to carry more speed through. The bodywork on Clemens' truck is knocked in very heavily. And now Stefan puts his nose back down the inside, says, I'll give it a go. Clemens says, no, you won't. Get that one sorted. As, oh, Stefan really pushes it on the exit now as well, trying to chase down the number 25. You can see he was really eager to get on the power. And he gets away. There's Clemens as they run down the straight. Louis Requenco, after having his argy-bargy at the beginning of the race, will now be in a bit more of a promising position to gain some places back. But importantly at the moment, it's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in 8th place. He's currently on track to get reverse grid pole position if he finishes there. And there's an incident between Clemens Hecker and Stefan Kirsch that will be under investigation. Is it bad that even though I saw the number 33 on the screen, I still thought Jamie Anderson? It's been a while since Jamie's raced with us in the series, but seeing the number 33 up there brings back memories. Stefan Kirsch now carrying that number with him into the championship. I think he ran the number 32 when Jamie was still racing with us, because I'm pretty sure Stefan ran with us at one point when Jamie was still on the grid. And yeah, the investigation goes on at turn number 8 between Clemens Hecker and Stefan. We're on to the final lap of the race then, here in the first race of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Having a lot of fun with it so far. Wonderful conditions outside as well for racing. They're hoping to avoid the rain this weekend. And at the moment, René Reinert continues on with this charge to try and make a move on Steffi Halm. You could see he wanted to come off the brakes a little bit there and try and sort of float back down the inside of the Iveco, but it didn't work. He now puts his nose down the inside again, doesn't quite find the opening. We've seen a number of fantastic defensive drives from Steffi Halm in the past. They've dubbed it that Steffi has golden elbows. And if there's anybody that René is going to struggle to get past in this field, it is Steffi Halm. She will defend until the cows come home. It's always fantastic to watch. But the Iveco this season, I mean, the Ivecos this season have looked so much more stable and planted than we've seen them in previous seasons. They were the trucks that showed particular amounts of body language and really moved around on the circuit. But at the moment, Steffi looks very comfortable. Doesn't look like she's having to even move the truck into a defensive position at any point. She's just getting on with her lap and just knows that René is sat there behind. There's Lucas Hahn just up the road. And even up the road from him is Norbert Kisch, who is about to round the final corner. And this will put him into double digits for 2025. He rounds the final corner. And Norbert Kisch will take win number 10 and win number 1 of the weekend here at the Nürburgring at the Truck Grand Prix. Jochen Hahn drifts it round the final corner for second position. And then Lucas Hahn will finish in third place, taking a podium on his first appearance this season. Then it's going to be Steffi Halm, René Reinert next up, Sasha Lenz in sixth position, Antonio Albacetti 7th, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will finish 8th. Then it will be Mark Taylor in 9th. He finishes inside the top 10. John Newell then ahead of Stefan Faas. Bradley Smith dropping behind those guys in the end. Then we have Clemens Hecker, Stefan Kirsch, Louis Requenco, Christian Ruppert in the number 29 machine, and Luke Garrett, unfortunately, a lap down. But everybody finishing in that race, which is the good thing. We got a full field finishing that one, and Lucas Hahn not just taking the third place overall, but taking the win in the Chrome class. There is Norbert Kisch, though. He takes a very smooth and calm victory to start his day as Jochen Hahn and Lucas Hahn drift in the background, shredding up their rear tyres. And in the Chrome class, it was a win for Lucas Hahn. Mark Taylor was next up with John Newell, Stefan Faas, and then Bradley Smith. Bradley was under investigation for overspeeding, but I'm pretty sure that he ended the race without penalty. So he should be okay to hold that position. And that was our biggest turnout for the Chrome field this season as well, actually, with Lucas added into the mix. But there he is, the number 22, the son of Jochen Hahn. Certainly puts you into truck racing with a lot of pressure on your shoulders, with a 6-time champion as your dad. But I tell you what, Lucas has always impressed us here at the Nürburgring, and he does it once again. He took his first ever overall race victory here in a very emotional scene a couple of seasons ago. One of the most beautiful things we've seen in the championship in a long time. But a great first race to start the day. Nice and clean, a little bit of argy-bargy here and there, but at the end of the day, this is truck racing on a tight and twisty circuit. We're going to see it. Hopefully the damage to Luke Garrett's truck is not that bad and they can fix it and get it out later. It seemed like he was running at a normal pace towards the end of the race. He was still doing 156s to 158s, and he was faster than a number of the trucks ahead of him. So, yeah, clearly the damage not substantial at all. The two Ivecos there of Jochen and Lucas Hahn giving the fans something to love with the drifting around the final chicane. It's one of the best things about these trucks is that there's so much weight over the front end, but as a result, so little weight over the rear end that they are really, really good at drifting. There they are then making their way into the pit lane, and there is your race result. Norbert Kisch completes 12 laps, nearly 6 seconds ahead of Jochen Hahn. Lucas Hahn finishing in third position, but winning in the Chrome class. Steffi Halm ending up in 4th ahead of René Reinert after having to hold on. Sasha Lenz 6th ahead of Antonio Albacetti, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will take pole position for race number 2 this afternoon. Mark Taylor and John Newell complete the top 10 finishers, getting 2nd and 3rd in the Chrome class. I'm sure John will be really pleased with that after not making it out in practice 1 or 2. Stefan Fast next up in 11th ahead of Bradley Smith. Not a great race for Bradley there. He lost a few points in the Chrome Championship. I'll be taking a look at the standings in that in just a moment. I think the gap will be down to 7. Clemens Hecker now in 13th place with Stefan Kirsch behind him. Louis Requenco and Christian Ruppert next up, and Luke Garrett finishing a lap down. Just checking the standings spreadsheet that I've made actually, and yes, Mark Taylor's 2nd place in class with Bradley Smith 5th puts him just 7 points behind now, and John Newell with a podium there, that's put him just 2 points behind Clemens Hecker. So a really good turnaround for John. He was telling us earlier actually that despite the fact he had a pretty nasty start to the season in the first 2 race meetings, he's still very much in the hunt though. He's only 23 points off Bradley Smith at the minute. A great start to the campaign for Lucas Hahn, taking 20 points. But a great start to the weekend for that man there, Norbert Kirsch. He takes his first race victory of the weekend. And that is 10 races out of 11 so far this season that he has won. The only race he didn't win was won by René Reiner in one of his old trucks. So he's still got even a claim to fame there. Jochen Hahn climbs out, quick hug with his engineer. And more big championship points for him. That puts him on 131 now. And he is well clear of Steffi Halm. But here's a great sight, a sight for sore eyes. Lucas Hahn, 3rd place overall. And a win in the Chrome class as well. He'll be really, really happy with that. And as you can see, I mean, he's always got a smile on his face as Lucas. And like I said during qualifying there and yesterday, he'll have an even bigger smile on his face this time round. Gives a quick debrief to the guys. But Team Hahn Racing will be over the moon with that. The father-son duo once again showing us how it's done there. How cool is that though? A father-son duo on the podium in the very first race of the weekend. 2 bottles of champagne for Lucas. And they have a good laugh about it as well, as you can see. Fantastic. Really feel good vibes down there in the pit lane. And Jochen will be certainly pleased to have got his weekend off to a clean start as well. No real battles for him to worry about in that one. Just tried to chase down Norbert Kirsch for position. And a really consistent first race. A great way to get the weekend started. Obviously the reverse grid races are the ones that a lot of people tend to look forward to. As mentioned, the 2nd race of the day will be taking place at just after 2:30. Our broadcast will go live at 2:25. And it may be a couple of hours from now, but that will absolutely fly around the corner. Before we know it, we'll be ready for that one. But it's a very solid set of results from Norbert Kirsch and Jochen Hahn so far this season. Loads of first places for Norby, lots of second places for Jochen. He's waiting for that first win of the season, though. One of the main reasons for the gap in points is obviously the fact that he's always the bridesmaid, as we say in the UK, but it's the fact that he's had a 5th place finish, or 2 5th place finishes, and a 6th in amongst all of those seconds. Norbert Kirsch has had 1 6th place finish, admittedly, but that's the only time he's not been on the top step of the podium so far this season. Antonio Albersetti in 7th, with Sascha Lenz in 6th. Those guys not having a great start to their weekend. Antonio's had just 1 podium this season, and it came between a pair of DNFs at Misano in races 2 and 4. He had a non-start at the Slovakia ring after some damage there. And let's go back down into the pit lane, shall we, and speak with Christina.
Yes, we're not in the pit lane anymore soon. Also wir fahren gerade in dem absoluten Winner-Shuttle hier. Das ist Norbert Kirsch natürlich. Er hat seinen Namen gehört, natürlich. Wir sprechen jetzt mit allen hier und die Kamera ist live dabei. Norby, the camera is on. It's the famous interview shuttle. So slowly right now, but it has been a quick ride. We were talking about your preferred parts of the track. Was it like you expected today?
Yeah, it's so far so good. You know, I think good race. We could be fast from the start. Good start, good first section. Could pull a bit of a gap in front of Johan. after the Mercedes Arena, and then it was okay, and I could do my pace. We improved the setup a little bit compared to yesterday, so the track was behaving a bit better than yesterday. So overall happy.
Absolutely. Einfach nur für euch mal da draußen jetzt die schnelle Übersetzung. Also wir haben ja im Vorwege auch genau gesprochen über diesen ersten Sektor, durch den wir jetzt zumindest mal reingucken können. Er hat gesagt, dass da alles sehr gut geklappt hat, auch ein bisschen noch am Setup gedreht zu gestern und dementsprechend hat sich das Fahrzeug so verhalten, wie er sich das auch vorgestellt hat und dann konnte er so ein bisschen eine Lücke halt auch dann aufmachen zu Jochen Hahn. Die Lücke zwischen uns beiden hier ist ein bisschen geringer, glaube ich dann. Trotzdem, es war mal wieder ein Rennen, wo man gesagt hat, da geht einiges, vor allen Dingen hier, wenn ich die Rückbank anschaue, was die Hahn-Familie angeht, nämlich auf Platz 2 und Platz 3. Ich weiß trotzdem, du warst im Vorwege ja auch schon, dass du gesagt hast, du willst mal ein bisschen auch Platz 1 challengen, ne? Wie viel hat gefehlt?
Ja klar, das ist natürlich immer die Challenge. Ich zähle schon gar keine Punkte mehr, ich zähle nur die Positionen pro Rennen. Ja, es hat am Ende genau das gefällt, die 3, 4, 5 Zehntel. Und im Rennen hat er dann doch noch eine Reserve, die er abrufen kann. Wir arbeiten dran. Der Tag wird irgendwann kommen, wo man es rausfindet. Und so lange müssen wir einfach weitermachen. Aber am Ende immer noch eine geile Teamleistung. Lukas auf dem Podium ist das erste Podium, wo wir gemeinsam sind im ersten Rennen. Das ist natürlich auch historisch. Da sind wir schon stolz. Das passt.
It is a historic moment for the Hahn family because it's the first time ever that the father and the son are together on the podium. And he said yes, he's going to im ersten Rennen, wohlgemerkt, das ist das Historische. Und das ist aber auch, das, hier sehen wir some kleine.
Machen wir Klimaanlage.
Sorry about that, everybody. The signal there as they head away from the pit lane, clearly not fantastic, but as you hear there, Jochen pleased with second, and it is actually the first time that him and Lucas have been together on the podium, I believe. So it's fantastic to see the father-son duo able to celebrate together here. Norbert Kish celebrating another race victory, a nice controlled race from him, as he said. And I'm sure he'll be hoping to have a good fight back through the order a little bit later on. Let's have a look at some highlights then, shall we? From the first race of the day here at the Nürburgring as the sun shines. And, well, we all now look to our watches and wonder how long that's going to last. As you could see, it was a little bit cloudier when we were on the grid earlier. The drivers all went on their little parade and everybody flooded to the grid to get ready for the first action of the day. It's been the first race of the day as well. We've had just the qualifying sessions and warm-up sessions before now, but with 3 Ivecos in the top 4 and 3 German drivers in the top 4, everybody was very excited to see what they could do. There was contact on the first lap between Luke Garrett and Louis Requenco, but fortunately Luke was able to continue, albeit down at the back of the pack. And it was Norbert Kish that led away, opened up the gap, and then Jochen Hahn did the same to Lucas Hahn, and then Lucas the same to Steffi. The battles were going on behind, though, with Bradley Smith right in the thick of it in the Chrome class. And then it was down to René Reinert trying to hold on to his position while also attacking Steffi Helm for 4th. Steffi, as ever, putting on a great defensive drive, while Clemens Hecker and Stefan Kirsch got very friendly in the bottom half of the order. Those two will certainly be wanting to resume that battle with their finishing positions later on. But another win for Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn in second, and Lucas Hahn, his son, joining him on the podium here at the Nürburgring in front of their many, many fans that they have here in Germany. And fantastic scenes will ensue, I'm sure, when they get up there onto the podium to spray the champagne. There's a lovely shot of the podium between the trees. It's in the sort of fan area, the fan village, and we'll go down there now and see what Christine is up to.
Yes, we're right now ahead of the podium ceremony. Also es geht gleich los. Das Wichtige ist, dass Nadine natürlich jetzt nochmal die Caps gibt. Wir können los. Wir können starten. We can ready to start. So that's the signal right now because we wanted to show you everything. This is well organized here right now and a bit of a hectic situation sometimes. Also manchmal geht es hier natürlich ein bisschen hektischer zu, weil wir natürlich ganz schnell für euch auch diese Zeremonie hier voranbringen wollen. Und das ist immer auch ganz schön zu sehen, halt, dass nochmal, wir sehen ja Mark Taylor gerade und Jochen Hahn nochmal am Quatschen miteinander. Also da ist ein Moment, da wird wieder gelacht hier untereinander, bevor es gleich auf die Bühne losgeht. Ich freue mich natürlich, dass Ebi Eberts jetzt loslegen wird. Wir hören ihn schon. Also viel Spaß.
Motorsportfreunde, zur ersten Siegerehrung des heutigen Tages der Goodyear.
To be honest, EB's that good at it, we could just let him do it, to be honest. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't provide it in English, but it's been great to see EB this weekend. EB and I usually do the commentary for the championship throughout the whole season, but EB takes on the presenting duties here at the Nürburgring, and he's absolutely fantastic. He was hosting the Go and Stop competition yesterday evening, and they'll be doing the same again tonight too. We're going to be heading down there to go and witness that. They've got the race trucks out there tonight, so that'll be good fun to see. Lucas Hahn makes his way onto the podium, checking which side they should be on, and he makes his way up. He'll be really pleased. And then out comes his father, Jochen Hahn, onto the podium as well. Father-son duo, second and third. And then the race one winner of the weekend as Jochen tests the sturdiness of the podium. Race one winner is Norbert Kisch. He makes his way across the podium, gives a big handshake to the guys. Great respect between the three of them. And very well done to Norby. They will have their trophies presented to them in a moment. Lucas Hahn, the first to receive his trophy from Professor Peter Koenig from the Vorstand Verkehr and Technik brand. And the professor hands the trophy to, well, the guy you could call the professor of truck racing, Jochen Hahn. And then our race one winner, Norbert Kisch, receives his silverware for the win. And he is really pleased with that, as you can see, holds it aloft. And now we'll get the national anthem of Hungary.
Einen Riesenapplaus und nochmal einen herzlichen Glückwunsch an Norbert Kisch.
As you can see, a number of Hungarian fans there for Norbert Kisch and Reveix Racing. Another great job done by them to start their weekend on a high. Looks like Lucas's hat has just gone flying. They head up onto the top step together. Big smiles from all three of them. Lovely trophies here at the Nürburgring this weekend as well. They had these huge gold cups last year. I only remember that because I ended up with one. Very fortunate. Lovely gift from one of the drivers after last season's race here. The guys are making sure they all fit on the top step. Jochen pulling the ball together.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
they always have good fun. And now it's time for some champagne from the top step. The media will be getting soaked. I don't think they'll be soaking each other on this occasion. Jochen's wondering whether he does soak Norby or not. You could see him thinking about it there for just a minute. But that will come later if they get back onto the podium, which it's highly likely that some of these guys will do. But well done, Norbert Kisch. His 10th win of the season and 175 championship points are now his. We'll take a look at the rest of the standings. 175 for Norby, 131 for Jochen, 94 points for Steffi Halm. She still holds on to that gap over René Reinert. 8 points there ahead of Sasha Lenz, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Antonio Albacetti not having the start to the season he would have wanted. Bradley Smith just stays ahead of Mark Taylor in the overall championship, 28-27, with Clemens Hecker still inside the top 10. 24 points have gone his way so far. In 11th position should be Stefan Faas on 16 points. And then Lucas Hahn, I believe, will have gotten 12 for that third place finish there. Glad to know that my maths is correct. 9 for John Newell, and then Jonathan Andre on 7 points, with Louis Rikwenko joining him, and Luke Garrett 2 points to his name as well. But Nürburgring now with a substantial lead in the championship, 44 points clear, and considering that an entire race day warrants 30 points, he's doing very, very well. John Newell will get a podium, 3rd place in Chrome for him and his countryman Mark Taylor. Those guys will be pleased with some big points to take away from this race. But joining them for his first appearance this year, straight onto the top step in the Chrome class, Lucas Hahn, and a big handshake to Mark Taylor, and a big handshake to John Newell as well. And a well done from John. And a raise of the fist from Lucas, straight back onto the top step, straight back behind the wheel, straight back onto the top step. Lovely to see. Trophies handed out here by Xavier Fripon from Goodyear, I believe. Yes, there you go. The back of the jacket tells you all you need to know. John Newell receives his trophy, then Mark Taylor. And then Lucas Hahn, he winds the crowd up for it, does Xavier. Great stuff, and a huge smile on the hand, on the face of Lucas Hahn. I don't know if he's got a smile on his hand or not. I remember when there was one of the trophies last year, Lucas didn't quite get how light the trophy was, and he threw it into the stratosphere. Time for the national anthem for Lucas Hahn.
Nochmal einen Riesenapplaus und herzlichen Glückwunsch an Lucas Hahn, Mark Taylor and John Newell.
Now Jochen Hahn and Diana Hahn enjoying the time in the crowd there at the podium. And the top 3 all will celebrate together. Not sure if they'll do the changing of the caps. I don't think the Chrome drivers tend to do that. But they all have their pictures taken. It's time for champagne for these 3. Lucas was very quick off the mark with that then. That was fantastic. Lovely stuff. Cheers from all the guys. And a good morning's work completed for them. It's 25 to 12 here at the circuit, but it already feels like, with the weather especially, that we are moving very quickly into the afternoon. Here are the championship standings in the Chrome class then. It's Bradley Smith still leading the way on 125 points, 118 to Mark Taylor. And then look at that, just 2 points now. Actually, sorry, not 2 points, 4 points between Clemens Hecker and John Newell. Louis Rikwenko next up ahead of Stefan Faas, with Luke Garrett on 52 points. Jonathan Andre, Christian Ruppert and Stefan Kirsch completing the rest of the drivers in the order there. So, first race of the day completed then here at the Nürburgring for the Truck Grand Prix on the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We'll look forward to its second race later on this afternoon. Let's go back down to Christina, shall we, and see who she's got for an interview.
Und wir stehen jetzt hier mit Lucas Hahn und zweimal Podium hintereinander weg. Das ist natürlich ein ganz großartiger Moment. Vor allen Dingen, was geht da in dir vor, wenn du diese Menge schaust? Und vor allen Dingen, da sind ja auch sehr viele bekannte Gesichter aus der Familie dabei.
Ja, natürlich. Heimatrennen Deutschland, Nürburgring. Da sind so viele Zuschauer, Familie, Fans, Sponsoren, Partner. Also wirklich so viele Leute. Das ist echt, ja, mir fehlen da die Worte. Das ist echt so schön, dass alle da sind. Und das gibt einem auch noch mal ein bisschen Schub. Und wir sind mega happy auch mit der Leistung.
It strengthens everyone to win here on home ground, especially for Lucas Hahn, seeing all these familiar faces of partners, sponsors and of course the family here competing and winning on home ground. Grundsätzlich zur Performance, weil du jetzt ja natürlich auch nicht immer dabei bist. He's a race-by-race entry, not following the whole season. Wie war jetzt das mit der Vorbereitung für dich und wie schnell konntest du dann auch wirklich auf Race-Modus umschwitchen?
Ja, eine richtige Vorbereitung gibt es nicht, weil die Realität ist, also ich trainiere zu Hause im Simulator, das ist aber nicht die Realität. Die Realität ist hier auf der Strecke mit der Konkurrenz und nur im Wettbewerb siehst du, wo du auch stehst. Und ja, ich habe mich im Simulator vorbereitet, aber nicht so, dass ich jetzt sagen kann, dass ich jetzt schnell hierher komme. Und deswegen bin ich umso happier, dass es jetzt so gut geklappt hat und dass unser Team und alles so einen guten Job gemacht hat, dass wir jetzt auch hier zusammen auf dem Podium stehen konnten.
He's absolutely happy competing here because he was training also in the simulator, and of course this is simulation, so reality sometimes kicks in differently, but he's absolutely happy with it. What can we expect? Was können wir noch von dir erwarten jetzt an dem Wochenende?
Ich hoffe noch einige Podiumsplätze, ich will alles selber und die Pfanne oben lassen.
Klar, danke dir, Jonas. Also tatsächlich alles Gute dir. Und ganz kurz nur, weil wir Mark Taylor hier hatten, die letzten final words, Mark, because we have an issue. The champagne bottle was opened. What happened?
Well, I didn't see that. So when they were handing the trophies over, he knocked the champagne bottle and it exploded.
But all the best. We need to close up. Thank you very much, Mark. Also wir hoffen, dass wir das nächste Mal die volle Champagner-Bottle dann hier für euch präsentieren können. Jetzt geht's weiter mit dem Fan-TV und Lina van der Maas. Viel Spaß dabei und wir um 14:25 Uhr dann wieder mit der Goodyear 4 ETRC. Bis dann. We say bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ja, und so sind wir auch wieder zurück mit dem Blick auf die Start- und Zielgerade. Im Hintergrund natürlich die Nürburgring, der Namensgeber der gleichnamigen Rennstrecke. Und wir haben ein Programm heute auch noch für euch, liebe Zuschauer. Ihr habt auch Gelegenheit, einmal ins Fahrerlager zu gehen. Offenes Fahrerlager. Wir haben die Event Area, dort wo eben die Sieger über die Bühne gegangen sind. Dort gibt es diverse Vorführungen. Um 13:15 Uhr meldet sich der